Alright, so what is up guys? In the previous session we learned about what is break and continue keyword and how we can use it in statements as well as loops, including while and for loop. So in this session we'll be understanding what are user-defined functions, or you can call it as functions. So I've written three questions here. What are user-defined functions? How do we use user-defined functions? When do we use user-defined functions? So what are user-defined functions? I'll be writing a small script here. Alright, so here I've made a small script. I've made three variables, a, b and sum, where sum is the a plus b. And here I've declared the variables a and b with data being 0 and 0. Sum is a plus b, and I've printed sum here. So in the next few lines I've written a equals to 2, a b equals to 3, and I'm just changing the values of a and b, calculating the sum and printing it out. So as you can see in the script, I've use the sum equals to a plus b a lot of times, which is quite like it doesn't look good and it's not really good for the performance of the script. Like it will cause a lot of lag. So in order to save this, or like not use a lot of repeated code in your script, we will use user-defined functions. So in order to reduce this, in order to make this into a smaller line of code, this whole thing, I'll be using user-defined function, and the syntax for user-defined function goes like this. So whenever you're creating any kind of instance or whatsoever in your script, like an object, we'll be using the local keyword. So to create a function, we'll be using local, and we'll just write function and the name of the function, let's say sum, and I'll be putting in the parameters. Alright, so here I made a small user-defined function with the name being sum. So as I've told you earlier, the way to declare or write a function is by using the local keyword followed by the name called function and the name of the function. So we're writing sum and some arguments. Inside of this function, we'll be using any kind of code. Like here I'm using print a plus b. So the whole purpose of this is to reduce the number of lines in your code. As you can see here, I've written few numbers while writing the name of the function sum 2, 3. So these are called as arguments, and these values 2 and 3 are called arguments, which are being passed to the function sum, and the parameters of sum is a comma b. If you were to understand what is going on here, is that a2, we're calling the function, we're telling the compiler to run this function. Whenever we write the name of the function followed by 2 brackets, I can even write it as sum like this. So this is calling the function. I'm telling the compiler to run this function. So while calling it, I'm passing the values 2, 3. This 2 goes in the place of a, 3 goes in the place of b. And keep in mind that this 3 cannot be declared to the variable a. So it cannot be assigned to the variable a. It is only assigned to the b, because in the second position we have the variable b, and in the second position while calling the function we have 3. So this 3 is not for a, and this 2 is not for b. 2 is for a and 3 is for b. Okay, and here I've written print a plus b. If I were to run this, it'll be like this. So 5, 12, 55. So 5 is the sum of 2, 3. 12 is the sum of 10, 2. 55 is the sum of 24 plus 31. Alright, so here I made a small change. I've put print a minus b, and I'm changing the name of this user-defined function as subtract. I'm leaving the arguments as it is, the parameters as it is. A comma b are the parameters, and these are the arguments being passed to the function subtract. So I've just put 2, 3. I'm passing 2, 3 in the first line. In the second line, I'm calling the function again and passing 3, 3, 2. So the reason why I'm doing this is to show you that this 2 does not get assigned to b, and this 3 does not get assigned to b, a. So we can see here from the print statement -1, because 2 minus 3 is -1, and in the second output we can see that it prints 1, which is 3 minus 2 equals to 1. So this was basically it about user-defined functions. How do we use user-defined functions? We use it using the local keyword followed by function and the name of the function. Whatever, we can put it as whatever, mango or whatsoever. But if I'm changing the name of the function, I need to make sure that when I'm calling the function, that has to be the same as this name. So I can't have it as subtract. I need to have it as mango. So when do we use user defined functions? When we have a lot of repeated lines of code in your script and you want to reduce the number of lines. Let's say, as I showed you in the first example, that I use a plus b and sum equal to a plus b, and I'm changing the values of a and b to like 2, 3, 5, 10, so on, and I'm calculating the sum every single line after declaring the variables a and b. So in order to reduce the number of lines, we can use the user defined functions. That's basically it. Yeah, so if you have any doubts, you guys can reach out to me in the comment section if you guys have any queries or doubts whatsoever. Till then, stay safe. Bye bye.